This goes deeper than I have ever seen before, because inside of this one, Terry Crews goes into the darkest sides of Hollywood and what goes on in the back end of the industry. Now, this deeply connects with things regarding the Epstein files and the abuse of children, as he exposes abuse that happened to him when he was young. Let's tune in and discuss it as we go.
He would get high and do whatever he wanted to do, crazy stuff. The CFO of William Morris Endeavor, a man died in his home dungeon. In his home dungeon. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm not saying this to just. It's not a fake. It's not nothing. You can look it up right now.
They might have swept it off the internet.
Yeah.
And something you have to say to yourself is Terry Crews, he is a massive guy. He's muscular, strong, feared. How can some of this stuff happen to him? He actually addresses that inside of this video, and the woman next to him is actually his wife, who together they have dealt through many things and stayed together and supported one another over the years.
But no, it's true. And wait, the police, man dead. But the police didn't do nothing. What is that? This is Hollywood. All this stuff is going. It's people got a whole bunch of stuff going on, right? And we walked in on it. We literally at this party, this guy comes, and he grabbing me, man, and I'm going, get off me, man, what are you doing? And he looked me in my eyes, and he was sticking his tongue out overtly sexually to me. I mean, it was no mistake that this was a sexual type tongue move. And I'm going, and I'm thinking it's a joke. I'm thinking, is this how this guy breaks the ice? I don't understand what this is. I reach my hand out, and he takes his right hand and under mine and immediately grabs my genitals and I'm jump back like, hey,
wow,
whoa. And he jumps back and he still does this tongue stuff and he's making weird noises and then he comes back again and grabs me again. And I slap his hand away, push him back more forcefully. And I'm like, what are you doing?
The man was high on something.
He's on something. I'm like, yo, I'm not that. I am not part of
It's crazy because if stuff like this can happen to someone like Terry Crews, this is not a vulnerable person. Even when he was younger, it could happen to anybody.
Party.
Fan club, yeah.
Bruh. And so when he literally was like, well, I was about to kill him. But this is what happened. And this is where we talk about Hollywood and the next thing. When this happens, I'll never forget, I just felt so emasculated. When he called me the next day, the agent called me up, my bad. Wow. Huh?
My bad.
Bruh. Remember I told you, hey, wait, if somebody tries to get your trust unconditionally,
oh yeah.
Hey man,
oh no,
bro, that does not work.
Yeah.
I said that doesn't work. I said I have given y'all millions of dollars, and you embarrass me in that way in front of my wife, in front of this whole thing, and you won't say my bad. You slipped up, and that's it. And wait, and I went to the heads, I went to everybody, and they told me like.
Yeah, again, see how he shrugged his shoulders. He went to the people that were in charge of this whole industry, and everyone knows that these things are going on. This is not a secret. This is, again, another example of this type of stuff being completely swept under the rug because it's how the industry runs. And to have some of these people that they want running the industry involved, they have to allow these things to happen. Or those people are deeply implicated themselves in wrongdoing, so they can't ever do anything about it.
And the head of William Morris Endeavor looked at me and said, I said, bro, I can't let this happen. He said, give it your best shot.
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
You understand how evil that is. If you tell me I work for you. That is the thing. You telling me I'm paying you, but yet you still my slave. You're the goyim. You know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, man. So I already went public before. I said, okay. So we went public together.
Yeah, and this is something about Terry Crews that's really crazy is he is taking all this public, which could be very dangerous for him, right? What he's talking about here are things that could be very damning to the people that he's talking about and the entire industry that he's talking about. So part of you has to worry about your own safety if you're coming this clean. But I think that this is the start of many people becoming very clean about their experiences as well.
We went on a whole thing. You can't do this. You can't do it. Assault is real. This and that. We was on Dr. Phil. We was on Today Show. We was on this. I said, and I told her, I said, you cannot. I said, hey, man, this dude. And then when I went and I did those tweets, because what happened is the Me Too movement happened. I said, this happened to me. And everybody went, what? And you understand, had I not been through what we have been through, I would have never, see, because that's the thing. Everybody wants to keep the secrets. If I had secrets, you ain't telling, you can't talk freely. Yeah. But I was a whole person. And I said, no one can go. You got to understand how many people got off the plane, the truck, or the bus in Hollywood and got and sent away. And nobody believed what they were saying. We went, and it was crazy. Basically
saying that after you leave, the event is over, you leave the entire thing, you're just quiet about everything that happened, not saying a word.
Everybody was like, how can Terry Crews get? He's giant. He's big. I was just saying, he's a big black man. I said, hey, because you chose to not crush his head. Hey, well, and the thing is that even if I did, does that mean I didn't get?
That's true.
See,
that's true.
What a great point of view he's taking right there. This can happen to him, and even if he would have retaliated physically, it still would have happened.
Say this, man. I started to examine it, and you have to examine it too, because I saw him and I saw this agent as another person caught in an addiction.
And here's where Terry's story takes an amazing turn, and he still slams Epstein and leaks some incredibly dangerous and juicy information in just a sec, but he takes a surprisingly, a shockingly, a heart-wrenchingly compassionate approach to Hollywood abusers here.
Basically what he's saying is he feels sympathy for the people that are committing these crimes because he thinks they're struggling with an addiction and with evil.
You see, I saw it for what it was. Here's a man who had secrets he couldn't get out of. And he got all these clients, and he risked it all. You understand what I mean? That's what the addiction does. You go, why would I risk this? And that's what people don't understand. The Epstein stuff, because what happens, it grows and grows. And you see the secrecy? And it grew.
Yep.
And it was under the carpet until the files got open and it stank. And it's nasty, and you see how rank.
And that's where we are right now. The files are being opened. They're not yet completely opened, but a lot more is coming, and we're seeing a lot more of that stank, as Terry's mentioning.
And foul it gets because they all waited and were hoping one day, like I used to. Literally the world was like, what is it we don't know about y'all? Just like she asked me. And all of a sudden, remember, it will be revealed.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, it will. And I sued them. Bro, I spent we spent $500,000 of our own money. And let me tell you, I would go to home and I said, babe, we can't do this. And wait, and when I did the tweets, I knew Hollywood was over again. Because everybody was like, Terry, you went up against William Morris Endeavor, the biggest agency in Hollywood. I said, I don't care.
And you wouldn't believe the big names that emailed and texted and called us asking him to drop it.
Yeah.
See that? Now, other people that knew what was going on got in touch with Terry saying, drop this, don't move forward with it, because either they were involved with it as well, which is probably the case, or because they didn't want to unpad their pockets.
And I was like, nope. We out.
And we were tapped, and we were harassed, and we were gang stalked.
Wow.
And
how long did this process take?
Oh, it was a 2-year process. Wait, man, I got calls from the heads of the people, and they're like, look, Terry, you don't want to do this. I was like, man, yes, I do, and don't call me again. Lose my number, bruh. Now, that's why I said,
God is on your side.
But remember, now, you got to understand, I was already saying it's over. I came home to her, and I said, Hollywood's done. Remember that? I said, we're done.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what happened? I got more.
Got more work.
I got more.
He got more. And this is not the first person to expose Hollywood for all of these things that are going on. But you do have to be concerned about the safety of yourself and your family if you do decide to expose things. So, is Terry Crews one of the first that you've heard talking about Epstein file-related things in the corrupt Hollywood? Let me know down below. And I definitely talk about more of them in some of my other videos, which you should check out.